Whenever anybody asks me who's the best fighter in the world, you're the guy.
I appreciate it, man.
Mighty Mouse, Demetrious Johnson.
Mighty Mouse.
He just has very few holes.
Kicks like a Thai dude. Shoots a double leg like a good wrestling dude.
Probably right now the best ever. The best ever, yeah, I agree.
Demetrious Johnson defended his UFC title 11 consecutive times, more than anyone in history. He broke Anderson Silva's legendary record. He submitted people with moves nobody had ever seen before, and the UFC paid him less than almost every other champion, told him he'd never get PPV points, and eventually traded him away for a retired wrestler.
He has the lowest selling pay-per-view in the history of the UFC.
The most underappreciated champion in UFC history.
UFC's mistreatment and bullying has forced him to speak out.
Bullying you? How do you bully the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world?
He is not getting the love that he deserves.
We've been talking about shutting down the flyweight division for about 3 years.
How are you going to have a relationship with somebody who wants to get rid of your division when you're going out there trying to put on an exciting fight?
This is the story of the most dominant fighter nobody watched, the greatest flyweight who ever lived, the man who did everything right in the cage and everything wrong for the business, and how the world finally realized what they'd missed after it was too late. September 22nd, 2012, Toronto, Canada. UFC 152.
Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, who faces Joseph Benavidez. Your family be in attendance?
No, just my wife.
Just your wife.
Just my wife's going to be making history, the first ever flyweight title ever in the UFC, and it's going to be fireworks.
Potentially the George Washington of the flyweights, Mr. Joseph Benavidez himself.
He goes, I'm about to be the George Washington of the flyweight division. And I was like, motherfucker, you got to beat me first.
I like to outpace all my opponents, and that's what Demetrious does also. So it's going to be awesome, man. I think we're going to bring out the best in each other.
I don't want to see the flyweights. They're too small. I can't get into them. What message do you have for those fans?
You got the two best guys in the world fighting each other. It's going to be all the excitement. Watch.
I think on Saturday night, it's just going to submit like how awesome our flyweight division is and how excited more fights are going to be able to come.
Joseph has no holes in his game. He's well-rounded. He knows what he's doing, and he's one of those type of fighters he's always trying to improve.
He's fought a lot of great fighters. He's finished a lot of great people.
He gets beat when he gets taken down, and he's been dominated on the ground. I just look at that, and no one would ever do that to me.
How do you think life will change if you do become the champion on Saturday for you?
If I become champion, I'm trying to go home, wash dishes, clean litter box, mow the lawn, make sure the grass ain't got no dead spots, so nothing's gonna change.
I went out there and gave it my all, and it didn't happen. When you're out there, you just going as hard as you can, but definitely didn't go as planned.
One of the things that sets him apart from everybody else is that he's not running away from you and not getting hit. He's coming straight forward, cutting angles and doing things to you. He's not there for the counters.
Yeah.
So he's fighting correctly. He's just a monster, man.
He is, man. He is.
Monster.
Demetrious Johnson defeats Joseph Benavidez via split decision to become the first ever UFC flyweight champion, Mighty Mouse.
Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson! You are the first ever UFC flyweight champion. Is it everything you expected?
I trained hard, I dedicate my life to this sport. Yeah, man. It happened, I guess.
Yeah, it is a little surreal, My wife, I always tells me I'm hard on myself, and you gotta be, when you're not the biggest shark in the gym, it's just, I'm just happy, man.
The fastest fighter in the UFC, elite wrestling, knockout power, submission skills. One of the most complete mixed martial artists the sport had ever seen.
The sport is evolving and growing, and these guys deserve to be here and deserve to be headlining. Demetrious Johnson's one of the greatest fighters in the world.
And absolutely nobody cared. For the next 6 years, Demetrious Johnson would put on a clinic, fight after fight, defense after defense. He'd submit people with flying arm bars, knock them out with knees, outpoint them 50 to 45 across the board. He made championship-level fighters look like they didn't belong in the same cage. But there was a problem. The UFC had just created the flyweight division in 2012, brand new weight class, and they needed it to succeed.
Bringing the 125-pounders, how are you going to go about that? I don't know exactly how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to do it, and we're going to do it soon.
You mentioned the flyweights are coming, right? March 3rd.
They did a 4-man tournament. It was me, Joseph Benavidez, Ian McCall, and Yusha Yortani. I'm glad that UFC chose me one of the athletes to fight in the flyweight division, and looking forward to put on a great show on Saturday night.
They needed Demetrious Johnson to be a star, to sell pay-per-views, to make the division matter. But June 14th, 2014 was coming. Vancouver, Canada. UFC 174, DJ's first time headlining a pay-per-view. And what happened that night would haunt him for the rest of his UFC career. June 14th, 2014, Rogers Arena, Vancouver, UFC 174, Demetrious Johnson versus Ali Bagatinov, DJ's first time headlining a pay-per-view event. The fight itself, a masterclass. Johnson dominated every second of every round. 50-45 on all three scorecards, not even close. But here's the thing, fans were leaving before the fight was over. People were streaming out of the building before the decision was announced. They didn't even wait to see DJ win.
Demetrious Johnson is not at that level where he's a superstar. People filing out of the Rogers Arena, this pay-per-view not expected to do a huge numbers.
The undisputed.
I'm the king. I'll stay the king as long as I can, and I'm going to keep on knocking him down, man.
I feel like he's almost underappreciated at this point.
Yeah, it happens sometimes in guys' careers.
13,506 people attended. Lowest attendance for a UFC event in Vancouver history. Gate, $1.14 million. Embarrassing numbers for a championship fight. And the pay-per-view buys, 115,000 buys. For context, Conor McGregor's fights were doing 1.5 million. Even mid-tier champions were hitting 300,000 to 500,000. Demetrious Johnson, the most technical fighter in the UFC, putting on a flawless performance, couldn't sell. After the fight, DJ admitted he was disappointed.
Like I always say, when people start talking about super fights, there's something behind a super fight, and it's called a lot of money. Now, they offer that to me. I'm pretty sure anybody will want to do that. That hasn't been brought to the table.
My goal was at least 100,000. That was it. But I'm happy there's a group of people who want to watch me fight. I love fighting technical. I don't like these slugfests. That last line? That was the problem. Fans didn't want technical perfection. They wanted violence, drama, trash talk, knockouts. And DJ refused to be anything other than what he was, the best.
You've never fought this guy, right, Henry Cejudo? What's the game plan here, man?
Just like anything else, score their fight.
People want to see fights that they're not quite sure what's going to happen, but we all know Demetrious is going to walk through them.
The game plan's been for the last 7 of them.
You know, you feel that when it's a DJ fight. At the end of the night, we know he's going to get his hand raised.
Do you think UFC would be happy if you beat Demetrious?
Yeah.
We've been talking about shutting down the flyweight division for about 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the next 3 years, Demetrious Johnson kept winning, kept defending, kept proving he was the most dominant champion in the UFC. And in October 2017, he had a chance to do something nobody else had ever done. Break Anderson Silva's record. 11 consecutive title defenses.
My biggest goal right now is to break that title defense of Anderson Silva, and I believe I can do it.
8 successful title defenses, 2 away from tying Anderson Silva, of course 3 away from breaking that record. That's something he really wants, so he is well on his way.
A record that had stood for years, and DJ was going to break it with the most ridiculous submission anyone had ever seen. But even that wouldn't be enough. October 7th, 2017, Las Vegas, UFC 216, Demetrious Johnson versus Ray Borg. 11 title defenses, 1 more than Anderson Silva. A chance to set the record for most consecutive title defenses in UFC history. This should be the biggest moment of DJ's career. 5th round, 3 minutes into it. DJ is dominating again, outlanding Borg 172 strikes to 22. 14 takedowns, complete control. And then, with 15 seconds left in the fight, Demetrious Johnson does something nobody has ever done before. He takes Borg's back standing, suplexes him through the air, catches him mid-flight, transitions to an armbar while Borg is still falling.
He's got one more fight, and he breaks Anderson Silva's record. I mean, he's already the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, and he strives to be better each time, and he gets better each time. Literally destroying people. It's hard to not call this guy the greatest of all time.
GSP and Anderson, they're great champions, but I'm the best champion to ever step in this octagon.
What do you expect is next? Do you expect to defend this title again and break the record? Or do you want to possibly bump up and take on the winner, Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw?
You know, I already told Dana White I need 7 figures. You know, I need $1 million payday. I'm not here whooping or cleaning it up. But next time we step in octagon.
You obviously mentioned a fairly hefty number in the cage. How confident are you that for your next one you're going to get past that $1 million?
I better. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a great company guy. I don't bash my company. I don't bash my opponents. Never miss weight. Never done any drugs. None at home beating my wife. Crashing my car, do cocaine, all that stuff. I'm not asking for a lot.
Joe Rogan loses his mind. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. The mighty wizard, the mighty Wiz-Bar. Borg taps. 3 minutes, 15 seconds into the 5th round. Demetrious Johnson just broke Anderson Silva's record, 11 consecutive title defenses, the most in UFC history, with a submission so creative, so technically perfect, that it gets named after him. The mighty Wiz-Bar. This is it. This is the moment. DJ just did something no one else has ever done. Except, nobody's talking about it. The finish goes viral in MMA circles. Hardcore fans lose their minds. But casual fans, mainstream media, they don't care. Because it's Demetrious Johnson, the flyweight, the guy who doesn't sell. And Dana White knew it. The UFC president had been watching DJ's PPV numbers for years, watching the division fail to catch on, and he was done pretending, done protecting DJ's image. In June 2017, 4 months before the record, Dana went on TMZ and said what he'd been thinking for years, and he destroys him. He wanted upfront money, no pay-per-view. He wasn't confident in his ability to sell pay-per-views. He has the lowest selling pay-per-view in the history of the UFC in the modern era, the lowest selling pay-per-view in UFC history. The UFC president, on camera, burying his own champion, but Dana wasn't done.
Demetrious Johnson released a statement Monday saying the UFC's mistreatment and bullying has forced him to speak out.
I'm bullying you? How do you bully the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world?
I always call myself the redheaded stepchild from the UFC.
Some of his concerns include a lack of pay-per-view points, which would significantly increase his bite first.
Most of what he said was not true. He didn't want pay-per-view. He wanted upfront money, no pay-per-view. He wasn't very confident in his abilities to sell pay-per-view. He has the lowest selling pay-per-view in the history of the UFC.
He's nearly flawless inside the octagon, and yet he's not the draw. So who do you blame the most for that? Is it the weight class? Is it Demetrious himself?
When I was going through my title reign, they were talking about getting rid of the division.
We've been talking about shutting down the flyweight division for about 3 years.
I was like, I'm close to the division then. That's what I said.
Never once did I threaten him to shut down the division.
So imagine that. You're killing it. And next you know, the CEO or the boss who goes, I'm going to get rid of that fucking division. How do you think it's going to make you feel?
There was never a threat to him. Oh, we're going to get rid of the division. That was complete bullshit. Never did I say to him, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to get rid of your division.
How are you going to have a relationship with somebody who wants to get rid of your division when you're going out there trying to put on an exciting fight? So that's where the tension started from.
The media claims he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. I think Conor McGregor is the pound-for-pound best. If Demetrious is really the best, then fight TJ Dillashaw. Fight somebody people will actually care about. Fight somebody people care about. That line cut deep, because DJ was fighting the best flyweights in the world, destroying them, breaking records.
He feels he's been forced into matchups that don't benefit him.
And if Demetrious is the pound-for-pound best guy in the world, then fight TJ Dillashaw. The media claims he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. I think Conor McGregor is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
He also cites what he sees as the UFC's inability to market him and the flyweight division properly as major complaints.
So you're the pound-for-pound best in the world. TJ Dillashaw challenges you, and you flat out deny the fight. Flat out say, I won't do it. I want Ray Borg. All right? Hey, you want Ray Borg, we'll give you Ray Borg. Sure, the fans will be clamoring for it, and ticket sales will be through the roof, and pay-per-views will be off the charts.
But Dana White, and by extension, the UFC, didn't value that. They valued PPV buys, star power, money. DJ responded later, you don't want to bury the champion after he's trying to build his star. If the CEO is bashing one of the champions, fans are going to believe it. I'm just saying, whatever the CEO says, people are going to believe. And he was right. Dana White had just told the world that Demetrious Johnson wasn't worth watching, and the world listened. By 2017, the writing was on the wall. Demetrious Johnson was the most dominant champion the UFC had, but he wasn't making the money. And in the fight business, that's all that matters. Behind the scenes, DJ was finding out just how little the UFC valued him. No PPV points, ever. Lower pay than champions in other divisions. And a contract negotiation that would reveal the UFC's true feelings about the greatest flyweight in history. Behind the scenes, Demetrious Johnson had a problem. He was the UFC flyweight champion, undefeated in the division, record holder, pound-for-pound top 3, and he was making less money than almost every other champion in the company. March 2024, 6 years after leaving the UFC, Demetrious Johnson finally reveals what happened behind closed doors. I fought and fought and fought. They specifically said, we do not give pay-per-view points to flyweight guys. They said that to me. Let that sink in. Every other UFC champion, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight, got a standard deal once they won the belt. $500,000 base pay plus PPV points. Flyweights, different rules. DJ's time in 2013, $125,000 to show, $50,000 to win, $175,000 total per fight as the champion, while breaking records. For context, Conor McGregor was making millions per fight. Even mid-tier champions were getting $500,000 plus points. And when DJ asked about PPV points, they told me straight up, if you're a lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, heavyweight, you get 500,000 flat in PPV points in your contract. For me, it was never that. The UFC had decided the flyweight division and Demetrious Johnson would never be worth investing in. By 2017, the UFC had a plan. They wanted to build hype around the flyweight division. And the way to do that, forced DJ to fight TJ Dillashaw, the bantamweight champion, moving down in weight. A super fight, cross-promotional drama, but DJ said no.
So they wanted you to fight TJ.
Yep.
You don't want to fight him.
He wanted to defend against the flyweight contenders who'd earned their shot. And that's when things got ugly. 2017, the UFC wants Demetrious Johnson to fight TJ Dillashaw.
Who wouldn't want to see Demetrious Johnson versus TJ Dillashaw?
TJ, the bantamweight champion at 135 pounds, wants to move down to 125 and challenge DJ for the flyweight belt.
Demetrious Johnson, I'm coming for you. I'm breaking you. You got that record that is fake. You know it.
On paper, it makes sense. Super fight, 2 champions, big PPV draw, but DJ says no.
If TJ doesn't make weight, which we knew he could not make 125, if he doesn't make 125, we fight for his belt. No, we can't do that. No.
His reasoning? Ray Borg had earned a title shot. The flyweight division had actual contenders. Why should they get skipped for a bantamweight who'd never fought at 125 before? Fair question. But the UFC didn't care. They were bullying me, telling me I had to take this fight. That's the word I used, bullying. Dana White went public, called DJ out, said he wasn't confident in his drawing power, said he was afraid of TJ.
I'm not thrilled with Demetrious Johnson. You're the pound-for-pound best in the world. TJ Dillashaw challenges you, one of the best in the world, former world champion. We flat out deny the fight.
The pressure campaign worked, partially. DJ agreed to fight Ray Borg first, the record-breaking fight. But the relationship with the UFC was broken. And when DJ lost his belt to Henry Cejudo in August 2018, a controversial split decision, the UFC saw their opportunity. August 4th, 2018, UFC 227, Henry Cejudo defeats Demetrious Johnson via split decision. Scorecards: 48-47, 47-48, 48-47 for Cejudo. DJ's 11-fight win streak ends. His title reign ends, and within months, he's gone from the UFC entirely.
I am done competing in mixed martial arts, and I want to say thank you guys so much.
October 2018, 2 months after losing the belt, the UFC makes an announcement that shocks the MMA world. They're trading Demetrious Johnson, the greatest flyweight in history, the record holder for consecutive title defenses, to one championship. For Ben Askren, a retired welterweight who hadn't fought in years, the first trade in UFC history, and it sent a message: nobody is untouchable, not even legends. October 27th, 2018, the UFC and ONE Championship announce a historic trade: Demetrious Johnson to one championship, Ben Askren to the UFC, the first trade in mixed martial arts history. A champion, the most dominant champion in flyweight history, traded for a retired fighter. The MMA world erupts. How do you trade Demetrious Johnson, the record holder, the GOAT flyweight? But the UFC's message was clear: if you don't sell, you don't matter. DJ's response? I just wasn't selling in the States. The flyweight division wasn't as popular. I'm not mad at Dana or the UFC, it's business. They did what they thought was right. Gracious, professional, even in defeat. And for many fans, that was the moment they realized what they'd lost. Demetrious Johnson left the UFC in 2018 as the most underappreciated champion in history. But one championship saw something the UFC didn't. They saw a legend who still had something to prove. And in Asia, where technical skill is celebrated, where martial arts mastery is respected, DJ would finally get what he'd been chasing his entire career: recognition. March 31st, 2019, Tokyo, Japan. Demetrious Johnson makes his one championship debut. Not as a champion, not with fanfare. As a newcomer proving himself all over again, DJ wins, unanimous decision, then wins again and again.
by unanimous decision, red corner, Demetrious!
October 13th, 2019. DJ wins the one flyweight World Grand Prix, beating 3 top contenders in one night. He's back, and one championship is marketing him the way the UFC never did, as the GOAT. April 7th, 2021. Singapore. Demetrious Johnson versus Adriano Moraes. For the one flyweight championship, DJ is 34 years old, 3 years removed from the UFC, chasing another belt in another organization. And Adriano Moraes is a killer, 3-time one champion, knockout power, dangerous. The fight is competitive, close striking, grappling exchanges, DJ showing his usual technical brilliance. Third round, 2.5 minutes in, DJ shoots for a takedown. Moraes times it perfectly, throws a flying knee, catches DJ flush. Ooh! Moraes with the knee. Johnson is down. Demetrious Johnson is knocked out for the first time in his 15-year professional MMA career.
Staying out of reach of the hands of Demetrious, almost walked into a high knee there, did DJ. He got caught by Moraes. Top position now for the champion. Throws a knee on the jaw. DJ's hurt. It's good night, Irene!
Demetrious Johnson has been knocked out. The GOAT, the most technical fighter in the world, out cold. And for a moment, it looks like the story ends here. But Demetrious Johnson didn't retire, didn't make excuses, didn't fade away. He went back to the gym, studied the fight, fixed the mistakes.
Even these rules, I believe they've been put into place for a reason, and it's just a different aspect of the game that you have to go to evolve around. If the roles were reversed, I would have blasted it too.
And 16 months later, August 2022, he got his rematch. And this time, DJ wasn't just going to win, he was going to finish Adriano Moraes the exact same way Moraes finished him. August 26th, 2022, Climate Pledge Arena, Seattle, Washington. Demetrious Johnson's home state, Prime Video streaming to millions. Rematch with Adriano Moraes. DJ is 36 years old now, 2 years older, coming off the first knockout loss of his career. The fight starts. DJ is sharper, faster, more aggressive. 4th round. DJ shoots for a takedown. This time, DJ sees the knee coming, adjusts, gets inside, lands his own flying knee. Flying knee from Johnson. Moraes is hurt. Moraes crumbles. DJ swarms. Ground and pound. Referee stops it. 4 minutes, 4 seconds into the 4th round. Demetrious Johnson just knocked out Adriano Moraes with a flying knee. Poetic justice.
Moraes. DJ's one of his slightly smaller movements.
Oh, big right, DJ! It's stunning! Big knee! That's it!
DJ just made a statement.
At 36 years old, Demetrious Johnson is a world champion again. His 14th world title across 2 major promotions. And this time, the world is watching. DJ fought Moraes one more time in May 2023, winning by decision to close the trilogy. Then he went quiet. No fights scheduled, no announcements. For over a year, fans wondered if he'd retired without saying goodbye. Until September 6th, 2024, Denver, Colorado, one championship, 168, and Demetrious Johnson walked into the circle one last time. September 6th, 2024, Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado, one championship, 168. Demetrious Johnson walks into the circle, not to fight, to retire. At 38 years old, standing in front of his wife and kids, DJ delivers a retirement speech. I want to say thank you to the fans. You've always been amazing to me. Thank you to my teammates, to Matt Hume, to my wife for pushing me to pursue my dreams. When I came to Denver, I said it was potentially my last fight. I wasn't lying. I'm done competing in mixed martial arts.
First off, I want to say thank you so much to the fans. You guys have always been amazing to me to live out my dreams. I want to say thank you to all of my teammates. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to my wife. Thank you to my wife for always encouraging me to pursue my passion, my dreams. When I came here to Denver, Colorado, I told you guys that was potentially my last fight, and I was not lying. Like, I am done. I am done competing in mixed martial arts.
The crowd erupts. Standing ovation. And then One Championship CEO Chatri Sitiodtong enters the circle. DJ, you're the greatest martial artist in history. You've conquered the two biggest organizations in the world. And tonight, you're the first ever inductee into the One Championship Hall of Fame.
DJ, you're the greatest martial artist in history for me, you know? Fought on the two biggest organizations in the world, but also the first inductee to the Hall of Fame in One Championship, DJ!
The flowers he never got in the UFC, the recognition he deserved. Finally, Demetrious Johnson retires as the reigning One Flyweight champion. First One Hall of Fame inductee, 25-4-1 record. The greatest flyweight to ever live, and this time, everyone knows it. Demetrious Johnson did everything you're supposed to do in combat sports. Dominated his division, broke records, finished opponents in creative ways, stayed humble, never failed a drug test, showed up every time, and for most of his career, the world didn't appreciate it because he was too small, too technical, not entertaining enough, didn't trash talk, didn't sell pay-per-views. But greatness doesn't need approval, it just needs time. And by the time DJ retired in 2024, the conversation had changed. People finally understood what they've been watching all along. The most complete mixed martial artist of his generation. The GOAT flyweight, a legend. But DJ's not the only undefeated legend who retired on top while the world questioned his greatness. There's another fighter, 29-0, never lost a round in the UFC, dominated everyone, made champions look helpless, and walked away from millions of dollars because legacy mattered more than money. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Eagle, the most dominant lightweight in history, and the man who proved you don't need to fight forever to be remembered forever. This is his legendary journey. Subscribe, because some fighters are so good, the world doesn't know how to appreciate them until they're gone.